Hey everybody, this is a piece by Max Shachtman, which is titled "In the Fate of the Russian Revolution, Lost Texts of Critical Marxism, Volume 1, edited by Matt Gamna as, I don't know if I said that right, Matt Gamna. The Socialist banner will wave, is titled, in this book at least, The Socialist Banner Will Wave in Victory. Below, there's a footnote that says, these are excerpts from a speech delivered by Max Shachtman at the Trotsky Memorial Meeting in New York City on September 5th, 1947. So here we go. We detest Stalinism for all that it has done to the working class, to the cause of socialist freedom, and even to the good name of socialism. But we are by no means ready to succumb to it in any way or in any sense. Those who see in Stalinism the wave of the future, as people used to say about Hitlerism, do not understand either Stalinism or the working class which it seeks to traduce. Like capitalism, Stalinism is incapable of solving the burning problems of society. It brings not freedom but tyranny, not order but chaos, not security but starvation, not peace but war. The further it spreads, the more clearly it discloses its true continence and true role. The new barbarian can no more gain the support or even the toleration of the masses than the old capitalist barbarism. A dictatorship of police and assassins is in its very nature a dictatorship of instability, and any crisis may mean its end. Trotsky, and in this respect we are entirely like him, derived his confidence in the ultimate victory of socialism from a true reading and a deep understanding of the proletariat and of the record of all the oppressed classes in history. Jean Jaurès, the most prominent figure of the old socialist movement of Europe, used to describe this history with a matchless eloquence of gesture, of the eye and of the spoken word. Back in antiquity, captive peoples, kept in the brutish ignorance of their times, isolated from each other into tiny handfuls, nevertheless succeeded in breaking the chains of chattel slavery and the apparently unbreakable power of the omnipotent slave owners with their bare fists, with stones, with clubs and knives. In the days of feudalism, the serfs scattered over the domains of Europe were able to level the strongest fortresses and prisons of the nobility, again with their bare fists, their scythes and short swords, their bows and arrows. Today we have a modern proletariat infinitely more advanced and enlightened than its unbelievably backward predecessors, a proletariat that is the foundation of all society, a proletariat that can be destroyed only if class rule itself is destroyed. We have a proletariat which, come what may, is numerous and bound together in large compact masses by the very economic life of every country. Against it we have arrayed great forces, but forces of a ruling class whose days are numbered, because it cannot restore order to society, because it bears within it a virus to wipe out society, because it is itself disintegrating and unsure of its power. Is it possible, is it reasonable for the intelligent mind to assume that where the tens of thousands were able in the past to overturn and free themselves from the ruling powers, the millions and tens of millions today will prove to be unable to accomplish their historic task? Is it possible for the intelligent mind to believe that with all the setbacks and defeats that have been suffered, the masses of today will prove incapable of finally consummating the evolution toward which the whole of social history points so clearly? Now, the centuries-long struggle of the oppressed for freedom, which in spite of everything, in spite of sufferings and sacrifices and setbacks, nevertheless did succeed in bringing modern civilization to the world. That this struggle will come to a tragic halt in our time, that the modern working class will be unable to perform even greater, far greater exploits in lifting the world to freedom than were performed by the ancient slaves, by the serfs and artisans, and even the young bourgeois of only a few centuries ago. 1 second, I'll need some coffee here. That is how to look at the matter scientifically and historically. Is it not sensible to act as have so many who abandon the fight for socialism? It is not sensible to act as have so many who abandon the fight for socialism, and to conclude that because we have suffered such heavy defeats, and they have been heavy and grim, it follows that the proletariat is incapable of achieving, under capitalism and against capitalism, that historic task which far more backward, far more disorganized, far less numerous classes were able to achieve for humanity in their time. Such a conclusion seems to us ridiculous, and it is worthy of the soldier who does not understand the difference between a battle and a war. It is these views that give us our unabated confidence in the working class and our determination to continue our freely chosen task of shaping and sharpening the revolutionary socialist vanguard movement to which Trotsky made such imperishable contributions. We do not believe the world is doomed to fall into the barbarism of capitalism or the barbarism of Stalinism. We do not believe that the masses will stand by impassively while the yoke is fastened firmly over their necks, while the wheels grind remorselessly to the war that threatens the extinction of civilization. We see already the rising antagonism in American imperialism all over Europe, the preparation of the rebellion against it. We see already the rising antagonism to Stalinist imperialism all over Russian-occupied Europe, in Poland, in Romania, now in Hungary, and the preparation of the rebellion against it. We see the rising tide of horror even among the American people, the American workers, against the threat of war, the rising feeling that it is necessary for the working men and women to enter the political field as a distinctive force in order to guide it, not to determine the fate of the land. What else is the meaning, for example, of the huge audience of working men that even a muddlehead like Wallace can command, a Wallace in whom the workers find at least some sort of expression of their will for peace and security? We have seen in our own time how the, quote, wave of the future, end quote, the 1,000-year Reich of Hitlerism, was broken not in 1,000 years or 100, but in a mere dozen years, broken against the irrepressible resistance which all the peoples of Europe successfully offered to the mightiest empire the old world had ever known, and the one which finally collapsed most ignominiously. The day of durable empires, of vast slave camps of imperialism, of realms from which the rulers draw power and plunder from the people for generations and even centuries, that day is gone, and there is no sign that it will return. The dream of a new world empire is nothing but a dream, and those who dream it, be it in Washington or in Moscow, are duping themselves. We remain, therefore, the confident party of international socialist freedom. We have no links to the dead and dying past. We are the party not of Washington and not of Moscow, but of socialist independence. Those ideas are our most precious capital. When they become the ideas of the masses, they will be irresistible arms in the sacred struggle. Neither Stalinism and the reform of Stalinism, nor capitalism and the reform of capitalism, neither Moscow nor Washington, all efforts for restoring the independence of the working class, for restoring the socialist consciousness and program of the working class, for the socialist victory of the working class over the world. That is the spirit, the essence, the meaning, the very heart of Trotskyism today. That is the meaning, and at the same time the vindication of the fight for socialism today. Like the great thinker and great warrior whom we honor tonight, as his name honored us, that is our banner. In heart and mind lies our certainty that it will wave in victory. The end. Thank you.